Today I'll be having a look and assembling some of the EZ Build Sequitors for Age of Sigmar. I'll be using a craft knife, clippers and Tamiya cement. I'm missing one of the EZ Builds because I gave it to a kid at the store, but I've got enough left to make the guy with the double-handed hammer and the female Sigmarine, though that does come with options for helmet and bear head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these from the sprue using the clippers into the individual kits. So there'll be one kit for the double-handed guy and one kit for the female Stormcast. As ever, if you're doing this with a child, then carefully clip the models out of the sprue. If you do it quite carefully, there's not that much to remove using the craft knife or a mould line remover. If you are doing it with a young child, you may well want to use a mould line remover because it's much harder for somebody to stab themselves with one of those than it is with a knife. So I'm just going through, separating this from the sprue, and with a knife I'll remove the mould lines. So removing the mould lines is fairly simple, though again, if you're doing it with young children, you probably want to do it yourself and reasonably carefully. So even though I'm cutting towards me, it's very small actions. And then identify where the mould line is and just run the knife along it, which removes a tiny amount of flash. You do that and it prevents, when you wash it, a big annoying line running all over the model. These EZ Build kits have got very little in the way of mould lines, but you still need to give it a check over. So I'm going to come back when I've turned these into two little piles of pieces and I've removed all the mould lines. I'll be back in a minute. So I've cleaned the models. I'm now going to assemble them using some Tamiya clear plastic cement. Plastic cement is what I'd recommend for you if you're assembling the plastic models. It works by slightly melting the points of contact. So with these, this is a 4-piece model with a scenic base, so it'll go together like this, and when you've got it, it will include full instructions. But the way they've done it to make them three-dimensional is you've got 3 pieces of body. So I'm going to start by applying some glue here. Let's see. Apply a little glue to the pegs. The reason I'm doing this is it melts the end of the pegs and makes it much easier to fit the model together. I'm then pressing it in quite hard. You want to press it in such a way you definitely are able to get the joins in. So I've applied a little glue to here and then I'm immediately wiping it away, but I've done that to melt this joint together. I'll then go over it with a knife and remove anything sticking out of that join. And for the next one of these to assemble, I know to put glue all down the leg, because that does connect together. We then have this, so I'm going to need to put glue here, and glue in those pegs. Again, a little glue on the end of those pegs, bit there, bit there, bit there, bit there, bit around the front there, and a bit here, and a little bit here. And then this will just pop right in. And that's how you get these 3D designs on these shoulder pads, because it lets you build the model up in multiple layers. So again, pushing it quite tight together, but then the big hammer, so this shoulder piece, this arm, so I want glue here and glue here. So bit here, bit here, bit here, got a peg here and a peg here. So, and I get in a position to slide this in, and in it goes. And there we go. We've got an assembled miniature that I can pop on here. So he's walking down these steps with his robes billowing out behind him. Assembling the model, there's a little bit of pit in here, so I'm going to use a tiny bit of liquid green stuff to sort that out. Liquid green stuff is a sort of pre-mixed soft putty that Games Workshop produce. So I use that to fill in that shoulder pad, and I will tidy that up a little bit later. Sometimes you will get little bits where the sprues connect and you get a bit of a line. So looking over it, that's the only real line I need to fix on that, so that guy's done. I'm not going to stick it to the base, because what I will do is I will spray them separately, paint the base up, because there's lots of detail on that base, and then glue it down using super glue. Once the model's painted and you're gluing paint to paint, you either scrape the plastic off, which you can do on this peg and on the bottom of the foot, and then a little bit in this well, and then use plastic glue, or you can use super glue. But if you have a look at that, this is how good the EZ Build kits are. So I'll zoom in a little closer as well. Look at that. The level of detail, the level of animation. There was a lot of criticism of the first generation of Stormcast models because they were very static. That is not criticism anybody will repeat about the second generation, these things. Because if you just look at them, look how good that is. Look how the robes flow. Look how the armour gives a sense of weight to the model. Look at how they've used the pose. It's very dynamic. And the base. The base adds a sense of dynamism. It's moving towards something. It's determination, it's grit. So this is how well sculpted the £10 for 3 EZ Build intro kits for kids are. So I cannot wait to get my hand on the new starter set. So that's one model done. Now I'm going to assemble the female Stormcast. You can assemble this essentially as a genderless Stormcast, because you've got a Stormcast head option and you've got a bare head option. So it may well be that you don't want to have too many bare heads, particularly if they've got the same face in a single force. But yeah, if you pop that there, you can see where that lines up with there and where that lines up with there. I think the issue is going to be painting him or her because of this. So let's glue her in. I need to pop this out. So I've identified by dry fitting where the areas of contact are going to be. So again, a little Tamiya cement, and I pop a tiny bit of Tamiya cement on the peg just to start getting that melting, and I pop that in so, and then I hold that quite hard. I'm doing that so that this edge here melts together, and I can even take a little bit of the plastic at the edge off. So then I line up how this is going to go. Again, we've got a 3-piece shoulder pad. We've got a couple of pegs. So, bit of that on each peg. That's a point of contact. This is a point of contact. This is a point of contact. This bit's a point of contact. That front of that body is a point of contact. You've got this bit in here that's a point of contact. You've even got this back of the cloak bit here for another point of contact. And now I've just got to get this in and push this hard in. So yeah, that goes in real easily. I should probably put glue down this bit as well. So what I may do is just run the edge of the brush down here, get that to go in using capillary action, but quickly wipe the excess off. So, but immediately you can see the difference in the body shapes between the male and the female Stormcast. So it's a little stylised, but it's not like boob plate and combat high heels. And then the next piece is the shield and the rest of the shoulder pad. Again, I'm a little yeah, because if I put that in, it obstructs this part of the body, so it completely covers up this joint anyway, and I don't need to worry about what I've been doing here. But it does mean that when it comes time to paint it, I'll need to be very careful with the brush strokes. So that means that bang, we have a fully assembled female Stormcast, who then plugs into the base like so, because the shield also plugs in at the bottom as well. So again, I'm going to leave the base separate so that I can paint it separately. Got a spare piece here that's going in the bit box, but pop this guy back on here, just take a look. It's been pointed out that the EZ Build Sequitor box, you can just straight replace the Shadespire Stormcast Eternals warband with that. This makes a great Severin, this makes a great guy with two-handed weapon, and then you've got the other Stormcast that can stand in for the female Stormcast in that set. But yeah, looking at these models, they're really, really nice. They're really impressive. They're really impressive for EZ Build kits that you just plug into each other, because this model is layered, 3 layers. So 2-dimensional parts to give a 3-dimensional effect. It's really nice. This is a really good little set. So I'm going to spray these black. I'm going to paint this guy up completely for the channel as a Paint Stormcast Sequitors video. I'm going to paint this model's face for a painting female faces video. So if you've liked this video, hit like or subscribe. If you've got a strong opinion, leave a comment below. Otherwise, good gaming.